Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Token back with another video, as today we have another VGC Clan Wars battle. It is week 3 of the VGC Clan Wars, and we do play the Wellspring Cave Gigalets. That's our second match, and then we play also the Malie City Marowaks for this week. My match is going to be against Nightlight26, aka Ben. Ben is a pretty quality senior. He got his Worlds invite, I think, last year for the VGC 2016 format, and I think it was 2016. Don't quote me on that. I think it was 2016. No, he got his Worlds invites for senior. He's a quality battler, and definitely someone who I was excited to go against. So if you end up enjoying today's video, we do leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel for more VGC content, as well as lots of other content. But yeah, unfortunately though, as you can see, this is a replay, which means it will not be live, which is really unfortunate. But I couldn't figure out my face cam issues before during this. I couldn't figure them out. So honestly, if Nightlight would have brought a team that could deal with Tapu Fini, this might have went really badly for me, considering that I was trying to fix audio issues in the middle of also battling him. So I definitely wasn't heavily focused on the battle. But I do think it's still some pretty good games for you all. So hopefully you guys like it. I don't remember Nightlight's entire team. He had the Porygon 2, the Gyarados, the Alolan Marowak, the Tapu Lele, a Garchomp, and what was that last Pokemon? What was the last one? I cannot for the life of me remember right now. But we're rocking out with the team that we recently built on our Showdown Live. So go check that out if you haven't already. But the team is Talonflame, Tapu Fini, Alolan Muck, Gyarados, Togedemaru, and Garchomp. So yeah, definitely go check out that Showdown Live if you haven't already, if you want to get any inside scoops on the team. I thought even though the video went up like an hour before we played, or maybe even actually a few hours before we played, considering that we ended up postponing so both of us could eat. But yeah, I decided I would still just try to use the team and hope Nightlight hadn't seen it. I'm pretty sure he hadn't seen it. He did bring kind of an outdated team though, so maybe it was just the fact that he just brought kind of an outdated team to this battle, because of the fact we played on DS. I'm not sure if Nightlight has many teams on his DS, but either way though, it's still not like a terrible set. So we'll just hop right into it, and yeah, I'll just try to commentate everything that happens. But yeah, Nightlight26. So we go with a Tapu Fini Talonflame lead. Nightlight goes with a Porygon 2 Gyarados lead. So what I'm thinking here is that I want to, well, at first I'm like, I want to taunt Porygon because I know it's going to set up Trick Room. I know it's going to go for Trick Room, since Talonflame's extremely fast. At the same time though, I'm like, Gyarados is likely going to at least Water Flame Talonflame, and I think Talonflame can have some uses for later in this game, especially if it ends up being a longer battle. So I do switch out Gyarados, and then I just go for a Calm Mind. I'm like, if this Porygon 2 has Thunderbolt, it's going to have to show me first. I do know that Gyarados, unless it's set up like at least like 2 Dragon Dances, it really can't do that much damage to Tapu Fini. So I was fine with going for a Calm Mind there. And then I knew that, like I said, if it had Thunderbolt on the Porygon 2, if Nightlight had it, he'd have to show it to me. But I did have a really strong hunch he would just be going for Trick Room. But yeah, so he did just go straight for the Water EMZ on my Gyarados, which was really, I thought that was an interesting play to just go for that right off the bat, considering I don't think Talonflame's that bulky. So I do think he could have just, especially with Misty Terrain up, he could have just went for maybe like a, well, he did set up Trick Room, so I guess not going for a DD actually wasn't the play. But at the same time, no, I do think I would have rather just Waterfall. It's not like I could burn you or do much damage to you at all with Talonflame. So I don't think that was going straight for the Water MZ. Don't think that was the best choice. Trick Room does get set up. I switch into Muck, considering the fact that I was like, if this is Thunderbolt Porygon 2 and it shows it to me now, that's going to be scary. I don't want to lose Gyarados right now. I just wanted to intimidate, as well as just got something in that could resist the Waterfall or the Water MZ, which he did go for. So I go into Muck, and Muck ends up taking 2 attacks, which is a little unfortunate, but I do have the berry, so that's why I was more comfortable with bringing in Muck and just allowing it to take those 2 attacks. Then I just went straight for another Calm Mind. I didn't see any reason why not. Now I just wanted Gyarados gone, and I knew that going for a Muddy Water wouldn't KO Gyarados. I protected Muck just in case Gyarados like went for another, in case I got double targeted again on Muck, but that was kind of unlikely, so I'm not a big fan of that play that I just went for. I should have just knocked off Porygon, but I went for Moonblast, not thinking that my opponent would go into a water weak Pokemon. I really didn't see that coming, but I guess he predicted that Moonblast. I won't call that a prediction though, because I highly doubt it was. I just think he wanted his Gyarados out of there since it was -1, and he didn't want to set up DDs due to being in Trick Room. So I feel like that was the reason. However though, I'm just going to switch into my Gyarados to get Intimidate off of this Marowak, and if it wanted to go for that Bonamarang on my Muck, we were going to be able to dodge that. Surprisingly enough though, he's running Earthquake Marowak, and I'm honestly not the biggest fan of that, considering that Bonamarang does quality damage, and it also it bypasses a Focus Sash, so that if a Pokemon was going to get taken out, like Tapu Koko, maybe just Tapu Koko, but a Pokemon like Tapu Koko was going to get taken out by its ground type move. Since it hits twice, it breaks the Sash first and then it OHKOs. So I'm not a big fan of that Earthquake Malone Marowak. We dodge that. We make it even weaker than it already was, as that's already not going to be the strongest move. Garchomp's like the only one who really can still hit things relatively hard with Earthquake in this format. Oh, and Crocodile, but not really a Malone Marowak. You kind of need Stab to be running a dual targeting move. You kind of need Stab on that, because like it's just going to be really weak. Anyways though, we go back into Gyarados. Well, no, we're in Gyarados. I just protect my Gyarados and go for another Muddy Water. We did knock out Alolan Marowak the last turn with Muddy Water, considering that it wasn't it just went for that Earthquake. Does get a taunt on my Finny as I missed Muddy Water on his Gyarados. That's fine though. Finny definitely, I already have 2 Calm Minds set up. I don't really have to swag or anything, so that's perfectly fine in my opinion. I don't mind a taunt at all. Damage is the only thing that I'm worried about at this point. Now I'm like, we've hurt Porygon a decent amount at this point, so now I'm just going to go for my Water MZ and hope that I can take out Porygon. Don't want it setting up another Trick Room. I do think Trick Room just ended. Not 100% sure, but I do think it ended. So at this point, yeah, I just want to try to knock out Porygon. And we do get the knockout, and it ends up being a crit. And going into game 2, I accidentally had my head down, and I was so worried about my face cam issues that I actually did not notice that we got a crit. So in game 2, I think that his Porygon's just actually not bulky or something, so definitely keep that in mind. But I did go for a Moonblast just to ensure the KO on Porygon 2, but since it was already taken out, we do get that off on Gyarados, which is really nice. But I am sorry about that crit Nightlight. That is pretty unfortunate, especially considering, well, at the same time though, his Gyarados wouldn't have had damage. I don't think it determined the outcome, but I do think it mattered. Now Nightlight's going to go into his Tapu Fini. It sets up Psychic Terrain, and I'm protecting Muck. I think that Muck is definitely going to get targeted since it is threatening this Lele very heavily. But Nightlight makes a smart play and just doubles into my Tapu Fini, which is a really smart play on his part. Definitely commend him for that, because Finny's been on the field since the start of this game and hasn't left the field. So it's definitely time to start targeting down Finny. I go for a Muddy Water, thinking that if that hit Gyarados, it would take out Gyarados. Unfortunately, though, it does not take out Gyarados. It lives on a sliver of health. And even if we had Shadow Sneak and Psychic Terrain, we wouldn't be able to go for it to chip that Gyarados off. So that's really unfortunate that it lived on, like, barely on 1, it looks like. So though I don't have Protect, so I just do have to stay in. And yeah, we will lose our Finny this time. Just another double targeted on Finny. Nightlight was probably really tired of looking at Finny just chilling on the field. We already did get the Muddy Water damage off on Lele, and I just want to see its item now. So I go for a knockoff instead of the Poison Jab to see its item for game 2. And it turns out it is a Choice Scarf like I thought it was. So that's quality information for game 2 now that I know that it's Choice Scarf can outspeed and OHKO Talonflame. So that was definitely something that I wanted to know. So that's why I went for knockoff. 3 just go into Talonflame and go for an overheat. We don't miss, even if we did. Muck would have took it out. So not bad at all. We win that one 2-0, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, we'll just hop into the second one now. Let's go back. So this game, what I was thinking was that I thought Nightlight saw how effective our last lead was, and I was thinking, hopefully he just brings Garchomp in the back and doesn't lead Garchomp. If he doesn't lead Garchomp, then I could get him with another really quality lead. And I think I go with a I go with Togedemaru and Muck. I'm like, if he doesn't bring his, because both of those are weak to EQ, so if he leads Garchomp, we're definitely in a tight spot. But if he doesn't lead Garchomp, I think that had a good matchup against everything. So I decided to go with that. As you can see, Nightlight definitely brings Garchomp, so let's see if he actually leads that Garchomp in this game. So Togedemaru Muck against P2 Garchomp. And I definitely thought, never thought I'd see, well, I guess not never, but I definitely didn't think this was the best little combination together in P2 and Garchomp. Garchomp's really fast, definitely really doesn't benefit from Trick Room at all, so I guess it's just there to be really bulky and just dish out as much damage as it can with those tri-attacks. I just go for the fake out on Garchomp, don't want to deal with that. Garchomp getting a +2 anything off on us. Nightlight, interestingly enough, goes for the tri-attack on Togedemaru. Doesn't get any hacks, which is really nice. And then I just make sure to get that knockoff off on Porygon 2. Now the plan is just to protect Muck and switch out Togedemaru into... Actually, do I protect Muck? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, just switch out Togedemaru into Gyarados. I think I do. Maybe I don't, though. And my opponent brings in their Gyarados, which is a really smart move. We had 2 physical attackers out, so definitely get that Intimidate off. And it does suck. Maybe if I would have switched out Muck, then I would have been slower than his switch out, because Muck, we just saw, is slower than the P2. So maybe I would have got my switch out after his switch out, so that my Gyarados got the Intimidate off after his Gyarados, so that we wouldn't have been, my Gyarados wouldn't have been at -1, his would have been, even though Muck still would have been. But instead, though, that does not happen. I switched out Togedemaru, and we get that -1 on our Gyarados and Muck. Then I go for Protect, so we did dodge the Earthquake, and then I just switch Infinity. I'm not sure why Nightlight protected there. I really am not sure. That just allowed me to get a free DD off, even though he also goes for a DD. I don't know. He was threatening. He threatened both of my Pokemon. He could Rock Slide Gyarados, and he could also Earthquake Muck. So I think that was actually a pretty poor play on his part, considering he could... he needed to dish out damage that turn. He needed to definitely at least Earthquake, get some damage off on Finny, like something needed to happen. Instead, though, I get a DD off, and then I'm just able to get an Ice Fang, as now I outspeed Garchomp, and I definitely will OHKO even at neutral, because we were -1, so now we're only at neutral. But yeah, that definitely will OHKO Garchomp, because it's 4 times weak to Ice, so that's not bad at all. Now we have a +1 Gyarados still, going for a Watery MZ on whichever target it does choose, so we'll see how much damage this does. And it is targeted on Finny, so with Finny's bulk, I'm not thinking this would do that much damage, but I ended up being pleasantly surprised that it does bring us clearly below half, so I was pleasantly surprised by that. I do just go for a Calm Mind, though, thinking that I'll knock out Garchomp. Gyarados can't do much to me. I can definitely live another Waterfall. So yeah, I just go for a Calm Mind. That will at least force my opponent to double target Finny if he does want to take it out this turn, and I do have a +1 in speed, neutral Gyarados, so that's still pretty scary. My opponent goes into a P2, which can't protect itself, so I immediately think with the Eviolite already knocked off, I'm just going to go for another Water MZ. This time I realized that it didn't have its Eviolite, and that is why we were able to take it out. Last time it was just because of the crit, and I didn't realize that. I just assumed his P2 was really not bulky, was really frail, so I thought it was just maybe like really offensive or something. So I thought 100% this would take out. Thankfully it does take out, though, without any crit or anything. So yeah, I didn't have to focus too heavily on that. Gyarados still, it goes for another Dragon Dance, and I'm like, it does need this for Nightlight to have any chance of winning. He definitely needs one more DD up. I just went for a Muddy Water thinking it wouldn't knock out, though, because I didn't see that crit, though. I didn't see that crit in the last one, on the last one, so So yeah, I went for another Muddy Water just to be safe on the Porygon 2, just to make sure we definitely got that KO on Porygon 2, which is a little unfortunate. I would have loved to have went for a Moonblast instead. Now we're not in the absolute best position. We are still, we do take a very powerful Waterfall from Gyarados, and then we take a Moonblast on the same Gyarados slot. So my opponent really wanted my +1 Gyarados gone. Did not want that thing around. I think I just go for a Moonblast on Gyarados just to make sure that it's gone. And I don't think that takes it out. Yeah, it does not actually take it out, though, so that's unfortunate. I would have just went for a Muddy Water if I would have known that wasn't going to pick up the OHKO, because then A Muddy Water would have possibly got us. It would have been a 2. It would have pretty much done the same thing, but just obviously with the spot sheet accuracy, would have had to play around that. I do not protect Muck though, and I take an extremely powerful waterfall that we somehow live. So thankfully, Muck is extremely bulky, and it's just such a quality Pokemon in this format. Try out Muck if you haven't already. So I take both of those attacks on Muck. Thankfully to that Figgy though, we still are alive. I get this next Moonblast off on Gyarados, thankfully, because I didn't want to go for Muddy Water just to risk the miss. That might cost me the game. And then I just go for a knockoff on the Tapu Fini to make it slower. Just want to slow it down. Opponent does just go, Nightlight just does go for that Moonblast, knocks out my Alolan Muck, and we're just going to get a 2-0 against Nightlight as we go for our Moonblast to finish the game off here. But yes, it will just be a 2-0 against Nightlight since I did allow Muck to go down there. But not bad at all. GG's to Nightlight. Thanks for the games, man. I'm definitely sorry that you had kind of an outdated team, and I'm a little sorry how late this ended up happening because it was already going to be late because Nightlight completely forgot about he forgot to hit me back up after he got back from a run, and that made it a little late. But then he said, I don't mind if you eat for a little bit, and I was actually eating pretty slowly, so that took a little while. So then it ended up being a pretty late battle. But I still don't think he really had the best answers for Finny at all, so Finny kind of was just like GG. He had to focus too much attention on it to take it out, and I just allowed me to, and he didn't focus enough attention on it in the first game, and it was just able to outlast for so long. So I do think that without electric coverage at all, and with no Alolan Muck or anything with stab poison type attacks, Finny was going to be, and no grass type, or grass coverage, Finny was going to be a monster for him to take out, and he definitely struggled to take it out. But not bad at all. Thank you for the battles, Nightlight. That was me winning another set in the VGC Clan Wars. So now I've beaten 4 opponents now, and I still haven't lost a set yet. So we're looking good for the MVP race. I think me, Kyle, and Oli are the only people still, the only battlers still undefeated. We do play Oli, I think. Yeah, I think we play Oli for our, yeah, we definitely do. We play Oli for our second battle of this week. So I'll try to get that up for you guys here pretty soon. Well, we haven't battled yet, so when we do battle, I'll try to get it up for you guys here pretty soon. Thanks for checking out the episode, though. If you did enjoy, like I said, like and maybe subscribe to the channel for lots more Pokemon-related content. I'm going to get the heck out of here, those guys. I'll see you in the next episode. For now, though, peace out. Thank you.